Hello and welcome to week 8 in our journey through Old Testament theology. Of course, we're not necessarily going completely thoroughly through Old Testament theology. We're kind of doing little points of light, 1,000 points of light, as we run through various verses in the Old Testament. This week, I want to look a bit on the goodness of God. So we looked at the holiness of God last week, and this week on Wednesday, our podcast, Lord willing, will be on the goodness of God in the Old Testament in particular. And what we want to look at as far as verses this week is this is just one instance of what we might call a certain creed of the Old Testament. Now, part of the cultural makeup of ancient Near East is they weren't a creedal culture. New Testament really isn't fully a creedal culture, but we do have this kind of creed that appears in every layer of the Old Testament. So here it's in the law in Exodus, but it's also in the prophets in Jonah, and it's in the writings as well in the Psalms. And so let's go ahead and look at the Hebrew letters for 2 verses today, Exodus 34, 6 and 7. And I will try to say the letter, pause, say the vowel, pause, say the letter, with all the rich stuff in between. So let's begin. What's the first letter? It's a Vav. Patak, Yod, and it's a doubled Yod. That's a strong Dagesh, a Dagesh forte, a Dagesh gadol. It's Yod is not a Bagad Kafat letter, and so that's a doubling Dagesh. Patak, Ayin, Katef Patak. That's a small Patak. It's transliterated as an A with a little short mark over it. Bait. Note that the bait does not have a dagesh in it, so it's pronounced like a v. Holam, a long O, resh. Va-a-avor. Vaya-aor. 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 Okay. This is the name of God. YHVH, YHWH. Sometimes it's been said Jehovah, but that's not quite right. Yahweh, Jews would say Adonai in reverence to the name of God. Yod, He, Vav, He. The vowels are to Adonai, a different word. It's called a Ketiv Kareh. It's read a certain way, Ketiv, and it's written a certain way, Ketiv, and it's said a different way, Kareh. It's said Kareh Adonai. It's written Ketiv, a YHWH. Okay, next. Ayin, Patak, Lamed, Al, upon, Pei. Now, since this is the beginning of the word, what kind of a dagesh is that? That's right, it's a hardening dagesh, a light dagesh, a dagesh katon, dagesh Lene. It's just making it a p as opposed to a f. So we're going to pronounce it p. And pei is a begad kefat letter. Okay. Kamatz, nun, kamatz yod, that's a combination. Vav, panaiv, his face. Vav, patak, Yod, and it's a doubled Yod. See that pattern? Vav, Patak, doubling. Vav, Patak, doubling. On Friday, we'll talk about what that is again. You could look it up if you have a Hebrew grammar somewhere. Vav, Patak, doubled Yod. Hirik, Kof. And what kind of a shva is that? That's right. It's a silent shwa, chop. This syllable is closed. Vayif. I'm sorry, vayik. That's a short vowel here. Because it's doubled, well, that doesn't necessarily, okay, I think it does, yeah. You would generally have a short vowel after a doubled consonant, I believe. Okay, resh, kamatz, aleph, quiescent aleph. It's there's no, it's like the vowel disappears. It's a quiescent aleph. So, vayikra, and he called, this from Genesis that uses that, and God called, and Yahweh called. This is, again, Adonai, Adonai, or Yahweh, Yahweh, YHWH, YHWH, Yod, He, Vav, He, and the vowels, again, relate to Adonai. Okay. El, another word for God. Aleph, Sere, Lamed. This is the generic word for God. Yahweh God, Resh, Patak, Chet, Sharuk, Mem, Rachum. Vav, what kind of schwa? It's vocal. Under a first consonant of a word, it's a vocal schwa. V, short little, you transliterate it as an upside down E. Chet, Patak, Nun. Now, Nun is not a Bagad Kafat letter, so this has to be a doubled Nun. Chan, two nuns there. Two nuns walk into a word. Okay, so we have, that's a short vowel, so you would expect a closed syllable. The first nun closes the previous syllable, and the second nun starts the next one. Sharuk, final nun. Two different forms of nun there, the initial medial form and the final form. So, v'chanun, Aleph, Segol, Resh, Segol, final kaf, and that's a silent schwa. When you have a shava inside of a final kaf, it's a silent schwa. Eric, this is called a segelit, segol skol. Eric, you know Eric. Aleph, Patak. What kind of a dagish is that in the pay? Short vowel. If it's a short vowel, then it's closed syllable, which means that we have the end of one and the beginning of another. This is a doubling dagish, a dagish forte, a dagish gadol. Apayam. He hit him in the face with a payam. Okay, so this is a yod, hirik, final mem, apayam. Next word, vav, shava. What kind of a shwa? Vocal schwa, it's the beginning of a word, the, like here, the. Resh, Patak, Bait, no dagish, so it's pronounced like Varav, Makef, which is not a letter, it's a dash. Chet, Segol, Samek, Segol, Dalet. Chesed. This is the first time, I think, that we've seen chesed in our trek through Old Testament theology. Chesed is God's loving kindness, his mercy, his graciousness, his covenant faithfulness. This is an important word in Old Testament theology. Vav, also a segelit, by the way. Segol, Aleph, Katef Segol, a very light Segol, that's an E with a short mark over it. Mem, Segol, final Tav, Tav, and that's a Sof Pasuk, the end of the verse. Va'emet, you know Emet, he's true, he's truth, faithfulness and truth, full of faithfulness and truth. It's also a segelit, Emet. Okay, we've done a verse. Now on to verse 7. I might just read this one. Save time, maybe I shouldn't. I'm getting tired, you know, I'm an old man. So, Nozer, Kesed. Remember Kesed? We just saw this. Faithfulness, graciousness, your loving kindness is better than life. Okay, Kesed. Lamed, Kamatz, Aleph, Katef Batak, Lamed, Kamatz, Pei, Hirik Yod, Mem. La, Pim, Fim, no dagish there. La, Alafim. No say, we've seen this word a lot, lift up. Nasa, lifting up. Avon, evil. Ayin, Kamatz, Cholim Vav. Actually, this isn't a Cholim Vav. This is a Vav with a Cholim after it. That's not very often that it does that. It's Avon. So anyway, sorry, it's not. It looks like a Cholim Vav, but it's not. Maybe the Cholim should be a little bit further over. I have to look to see whether in the text that I copied this for, it's actually a little bit over. But this is Evan is evil. So Avon, evil. wickedness. Va fesha. Va fesha. Va fesha. Vav, vocal schwa, chet, batak, doubled tate. Kamatz, aleph, kamatz, hey. Vachata-a. Vachata-a. This is chata, is another word for sin or transgression. Va-nache. Vav, shava, nun, patak, doubled kof, sere, hey. Sere, hey is a vowel combination, just like a kamatz, hey is a vowel combination. Lo, lamed, holem, aleph, not. Yanake. Yod, vocal schwa, nun, patak, doubled kof, sagol, hey, which is another, again, vowel combination. Pokade. So this would normally be a hardening dagesh at the beginning of a word. Pokade. Pei, holem, kof, sere, dalet. Again, avon, evil, wickedness. Ayin, katef patak, vav, holem, final nun. Avon. Aleph, kamatz, bait. That holem should be over there. I think, by Jove, I think I can do it. I've done something with my, okay, hold on a second. Let me do the I Dream of Jeannie. And it's shifted. Now it's over the right place. So avot, the fathers. Aleph, kamatz, a bait without a dagesh. Holem vav, vowel letter. Tav, avot. There's a whole name of a tractate in the Mishnah called Avot, sayings of the fathers. Ayin, patak, lamed, al, makef, dash, a hardened bait, kamatz, nun, hirik yod, vowel combination, final mem, banim, the sons, upon the sons, fathers upon the sons, visiting the wickedness of the fathers upon the sons. Abav, vocal schwa, ayin, patak, lamed, with makef, va'al, and upon, bait with a hardening dagesh, vocal schwa, because it's the beginning of the word, nun, sere yod, which is a vowel combination, al banei, the sons of the sons. This is Friday. We'll talk about the grammar. Bait, kamatz, nun, hirik yod mem, banim, banim, va'al banei banim. Al, shileshim, so aleph, patak, lamed, makef, sheen, hirik, doubled lamed, sere, sheen, hirik yod, mem. Shileshim, it's like you've heard of a shile dog. This is a shileshim. And then we have vav, vocal schwa, ayin, patak, lamed, makef, va'al, and upon, resh, hirik. This is a doubled bait because it's after short vowel. Sere, ribe, ribe, ayin, hirik yod, mem. Ribeim, sof pasuk. Okay, so look up the verse, see what it is. On Friday, we'll look at the grammar of this passage, and on Wednesday, we'll do a podcast on the goodness of God in the Old Testament.